Okay, let's get back to that angel. We're in verse 6. Another angel flying directly overhead, he had the eternal gospel he proclaimed to everyone that dwelt on the earth, to every nation and tribe and language and people, so he covers the world. And we're not sure, but he could just be doing this from then on until Armageddon. That's how God is. He keeps giving people an opportunity. And the angel is saying, fear God, give him glory, even if you get killed for it by the Terminator. Remember, that's chapter 13. That monster robot is killing everybody that won't take the mark and won't bow to Satan. Worship him, the Creator. He made heaven and earth. He made the oceans, the springs of water. That's the salvation offer globally. Did you know anybody anywhere can hear the simple truth of the gospel and can change their life? While all of you were freshmen, in high school and COVID started, Bonnie and I were scheduled to speak at Jeju Island in Korea. And they called us and they said, our board told us they're closing airports in America. They told me they were closing airports in the Far East and in Asia. And so they said, you shouldn't come to Korea. You might get trapped here. You won't be able to get out. Or you might not be able to get in after you fly all that way. I said, what do you want me to do? They said, Zoom in your class. I said, Zoom? What is Zoom? I mean, I'd never heard of Zoom, They said it's something where you can teach and we'll watch it on TV. Because the students are here, they can't leave because of COVID, and you're there, you can't leave, Zoom in. I didn't know what Zoom was. So my son came, and he's amazing, and I could tell you stories about my son, he's a genius, but he said, Dad, don't worry, we'll take care of it. And he set up a bunch of cameras, screwed into our wall whiteboards, set up the cameras, and put Bonnie behind the console, going between the 6 cameras and the audio and everything else, and one looks at my Bible, and another one connects to my computer, another one's on my iPad. I mean, it was just like, wow, in our basement. And I taught 13 Word of Life students in Korea for 15 hours the book of Isaiah. I had the best time of my life. And I got letters from them, and they took pictures, and said, we're watching you, And I went through Isaiah with them. It took me 60, 80, 100 hours to get the 15 hours for them ready. And then it took me hours and hours to make the slides. And then Bonnie and I took 15 hours recording it for 13 kids. And that was a blessing. It took us about 2 months to do all this. My son said, what are you going to do with your 15 classes? I said, they're done. He said, they're not done, Dad. He said, this is COVID. Everybody's stuck. I mean, they're binging on Prime and Netflix and watching everything and watching it twice, and they're gaming until their fingers hurt, and they're stuck wearing their mask. They said, they're just looking for stuff. He said, do something with them. I said, what? He said, we'll take care of it. So they posted the Isaiah class on YouTube. And I started getting letters. I got a letter from someone at University of California, Berkeley, and they said it. They said, we're required to stay in our offices because of our tuition that the students have paid. And they said, so I've watched everything on Netflix, everything on Hulu and YouTube and everything, on Prime. And they said, and I just still was nothing to do. And so I typed, knowing God. That was one of the 15 classes in Isaiah. And Google put that Isaiah class in their feed. And they watched Isaiah. A Berkeley staff member, University of California, Berkeley. And in the class, I started talking about what the Old Testament says salvation is. Salvation is a new heart I will give you, a new spirit I'll put within you. That's what Ezekiel 36:26 says. I'll take away your hard, stony heart. I'll put in you a soft heart, and you'll know me. And I mean, it's the whole gospel. So this person, that was like class 7. They went back to class 1. And they said over the next 2 weeks, they watched all 15 hours, sitting in their little cubicle, their office. On the last class, as I do here, you've heard me say many times, I'm not sure how many of you really know the Lord, but he's only an arm's length away. And right where you are, you can reach out to him. And I gave the plan of salvation. This guy in his Berkeley office bowed his head and said, God, I don't know you, but I'm reaching out. I want to know you. I want to be saved. He said, nothing happened, no lightning or anything. But he got in his car and drove home, and he said he pulled out his keys, and he put the key in the apartment door where he'd lived for 15 years with his girlfriend. And as he was turning the key, she pulled the door open. She heard him and said, "Hi, honey." And he backed up and he said, "We shouldn't be living together." She said, "What are you smoking? What's wrong with you?" "What do you mean? We've been living together 15 years. He said, "I became a Christian today. And living with you, not married to you, is wrong." And she realized he wasn't smoking. She said, "What were you watching?" He said, "I came to know God in Isaiah." She said, "Well, I want to try." So she went to the TV and watched his class. She said, "I don't like that at all." "Does he have any others?" She switched to the Gospel of John. She had a different wavelength. And I heard from them, and what they said is, they sent me a clip of this couple getting baptized in a storefront church in San Francisco in a or a horse trough where you give water to horses. This church brought it in, filled it with water, and she gave her testimony. She said, "What I just told you." And the couple, and he said, "You know what? God gave me a new heart sitting in my office at UC Berkeley." Do you know what that is? That's called a miracle. That's salvation. That's what, did I say on the thing you shouldn't live with your girlfriend? I didn't say that. The Holy Spirit. See, salvation is a miracle. All we do is offer it to people, and God does all the rest. He came in and changed this guy from inside out, changed his girlfriend. By the way, they got married. They're in this little storefront church. They're serving the Lord in San Francisco today, because that's what God does. And for those that don't receive him, God has holy wrath